Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're back again for recording the classes after a week or more than a week, right? More than a week of got enough. So we're back now. So last time we finished like the letters that come at the beginning of the surahs, which we call it huruf muqatta or the chopped letters. Then we've mentioned fatha, kasra, and dhamma. And we said some notes about saying them, especially the dhamma, that the lips should be circled to get the sound of it correctly. Then we've mentioned tanween, and we said tanween written as double the haraka, like double fatha, double kasra, double dhamma, but is pronounced as like noon sakina. So that's why tanween, when it comes to the read, inshallah, we're gonna say tanween and the noon sakina both take the same rules of noon sakina. So we're back today to reading. I think we did some of those words, right?
Uh, you know what? I don't think we did these words actually. MashaAllah.
I
But
remember I remember we did some of them. I
okay.
remember that. But like
Alhamdulillah.
we can go through them like really quick before we move on. So like practicing what we've finished. Now actually we finished maybe the basis and the most important thing in reading. If anything like from the past class is not going well or you don't understand it, please be back to the videos and study it again and like practice it as much as possible because from now on like we're gonna take new stuff and the rate may be a little a little quick. So the bases that we finished are the most important thing. Okay. So uh if you remember how we can read this one here.
Fun.
Fan, correct. We said when we have two letters on top of each other, so the top one is the first one that comes at the beginning, right?
Mhm.
Okay. How about this one?
Korea.
Uri, and what we
Korea.
call, yeah, what we call the last letter here?
Uh, uh, that's a ya with a Hamza.
No, it's just a Hamza, right?
Hamza. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
we said that's Hamza as Hamza takes many shapes, maybe like separate or with the alif on top of it or under the alif. The same for ya and the waw. All of this is a Hamza and they all take the same sound. Okay. This is what just I wanted to focus on in the previous page. So now let's move to the tanween here. Focus on that more. This one.
Mm-hmm. Lubadan.
Lubadan. Great. How about this one?
Humazatin.
Humazatin.
Mhm. Humazatin.
This one.
Kufuwan.
Yes, and this is a word in Surah Al-Ikhlas. Kufu. Kufu. As a lot of people actually are saying it. Kufwan. Making the fa sukun. And the fa here has a dhamma, right? So your
No.
lips also should be circled on the fa too. Kufuwan. Kufuwan ahad. Okay?
No.
Okay. Now we're moving to the mid. I think we didn't mention the mid yet, right? Or we did? We did.
No, we didn't mention no, we didn't mention the med.
No, we mentioned it after the fatha. I think we mentioned. Oh,
Uh
not yet. Yeah. Yep.
yeah, not the standing. We did like the beginning of the surahs type of
Mhm.
med.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So today we're starting the mid with the small letters of mid. So the word mid itself means to make the sound stretched or a little longer. Okay. So this actually what the word mid means to make something longer. When we mention it in reading, that means I'm making the sound or the sound of the letter a little bit longer or stretched. So for the mid we have three letters: alif, waw, and ya. So to say that they are letters of mad or the letter that comes before them needs to be stretched, actually it has two conditions. First one, these letters should be coming with sukoon. This is the first one. The second, each one of them should be coming after the corresponding vowel. Like, I mean, the alif should be sukoon after a fatha before it, and waw should be sukoon after a dhamma before it, and ya should be sukoon after a kasra before it. In this case, we can say this is alif for mad, this is waw for mad, and this is ya for mad. So if we would say that, if we would, if we would have like ya with the fatha before, that means this ya is not ya mad. We can't say this letter is a letter of mad here. Okay. And the same for the waw. We said the waw should be preceded by dhamma. If we have fatha before, that means this waw can't be waw mad. Okay.
Mm.
Same also for the alif should be always having the fatha before to be alif wal mad. If we don't have the fatha like we have kasra before it, that means this alif is not letter for mad. Okay. What we mean also like by mad, when I have like in a letter before the alif with the fatha like the hamza, Hamza usually when we say Hamza Fatha takes a, but having the alif here makes the sound of a doubled, saying okay. In case
Mhm.
of wow, the same. Like to say this wow is a wow of mad, I need to have a letter before with a dhamma. So if I have Hamza dhamma, we said before it takes oo sound. But now because of the wow before after, which is wow mad, the sound of the Hamza dhamma should be doubled here to say ooh. The same in case of ya. Should be having a letter with the kasra before it to say this ya is a ya of mad. Okay, like the hamza kasra also takes e usually, but because we have the ya mad after the sound should be doubled saying e.
Mm.
And actually this what we call it natural mad. Okay, natural mad. And natural mad, they say it takes two beats or what we call it two haraka for tajweed. Or some people like making it easy and say it just 2 seconds. Fine. Two
Mhm.
beats or two haraka. Like we mean by the beat or the haraka to make your finger up or make it down. Fine. That's what we call it haraka in tajweed. So if I would make it up, this is one haraka, make it down. This is the second haraka as well. If I would just make the sound, make my finger up and down, this is two harakas. So the time of mad, natural mad, the same time you make your finger up and down, like you say, uh,
Mhm.
okay. Because what when it comes deeper into read, we're gonna say this may take in 4 harakas and 6 harakas, and we're gonna mention it again. So the same as we said since a while, we have alif, waw, and ya for mad. We have also like a small alif, a small ya, and small waw, and they are the same. They are making the sound stretched. Like like here, the first one, we have ba fatha with a small alif after. So this takes the same thing as we just mentioned. It takes ba, like double the sound of the ba fatha. In case of the small ya here, so we have the small ya, which is sukun, no vowel on top of it. That's why we call it ya sukun. And the letter before, which is hamza, has a kasra, so it makes the sound of the kasra stretched, saying e. Good.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm. Now, I've seen in the Quran, like how you have the dhamma, the small dhamma to the left, and even
Mhm.
the small yeah, but I never knew what that
Small
meant. I
yeah,
always thought it was like
actually,
a
yeah,
comma.
you're not gonna find the small yeah that much. But
Mm.
actually, one of the tricks you're gonna find it in one word with vowel. And some people actually mess this vowel up. And I'm gonna
Mhm.
show you this word, inshallah, right now. So for the third letter, which is the small vowel, when it comes after also the dhamma, it makes it stretched like the usual wow. Woo,
Mm.
woo. So the wow dhamma, if it doesn't have anything after, would say just it wow dhamma takes woo sound. But having the wow of the mid, which is the small wow here after it makes it stretched. Ooh, okay. If you focus with the small yeah, actually it was one of the shapes of the yeah, and we mentioned it at the beginning, right? So one word of the Quran has this small yeah with a vowel, like is not as letter of mad, but it has a vowel, should be taken yeah sound. Okay, like in Surah An-Naml, we have the word da adaniya. It's written actually in the Mus'haf like that.
Mm-hmm.
Da ni yeah. So a lot of people actually, when they say the small yeah, they don't give any care to the vowel on top and they consider it as mad, saying adani, and this is wrong. As a small yeah here has a fatha, it should take a yeah sound. Adaniya. فما آتاني الله. In case of connection, if I would stop on it, actually, when we stop, we always make this the last letter that we stop on it turn it into sukun, even if it doesn't have sukun. So, like if we would stop here, when if we're reading Quran and we would stop in this small yeah, we're gonna turn the vowel which is the fatha into sukun. This actually would make it yamad because it is gonna be like ya sukun with the kasra before. So in this case, if I would stop on it, I would make it yamad, saying فما آتاني.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. This is one of the tricks. So moving up to the med. Here are the letters of med themselves. Alif, well, when they sorry, I don't know, like yeah, the board has a lag today, I don't know why. So we have the letters Alif, Wow, and yeah. So if we would focus with each one of them, it has the conditions. Like the Alif here has nothing on top of it, so it's sukun. And the letter before which is the ba has a fatha, so it takes ba sound with with the alif after it would be stretched, saying ba. So this is a right sound for the first one. The second one we have the ba dhamma, and the dhamma is followed by the waw that has nothing on top. So the waw here is for mid. So we have to stretch the ba dhamma sound, saying boo. Okay. The alif here actually has no role. And usually in Quran, you're gonna find it having like a circle on top of it. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
This alif actually, or this what we call it usually waw al jama'a, by the way. So
Mm-hmm.
the ba kasra here in the second and the third has the ya after, so it has the conditions. The kasra and the letter ya has no vowels on top, so it is yeah sukun, so the sound should be stretched, seen, be right.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the sound here, we say ba, boo, bee. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just the startup for mid. Next time we may go through it like together, starting like to do a quick test on it, like for you. And next time we're also mentioning the mad or حروف اللين, not مد اللين. حروف what we call it حروف اللين. Just not to mix up we were gonna like stop here today. Okay.